So following on from the first time I thought I was going to die, the second time was in mid-1996, I think, and it involved a jet ski. So myself and a friend were out jet skiing in Western Port Bay in Victoria, Australia, and it's pretty rough sort of a bay. The tides are pretty vicious. There's a lot of surf in there. So we were just jumping the waves and having a great old time, just riding the waves back in, going back out, jumping the waves. It was all good. We'd had lots of fun, and we decided to call it a day and go back in. The weather was getting a bit nasty. And when we got back in, all these people on the beach were waving at us, and they were saying, "Can you go out and rescue our friend? He's overturned on his catamaran and can't get it back upright." And I'd actually done this before in Port Phillip Bay in summer in much calmer conditions, and helped a guy on our jet skis with a catamaran, and we got him turned back upright the right way. But I couldn't do that this time. The weather was too bad, it was too rough. There was no possible way we could get this thing turned upright, and we decided to, in our infinite wisdom, one of those decisions you sort of regret, but it seems like a good idea at the time. We decided to stick the guy on the catamaran on my mate's jet ski, and we both hopped on my jet ski, and we were just going to putt our way back into shore. Well, this guy had never been on a jet ski before, so what on earth? Like, he was a bigger guy than us, so I think that was the reasoning behind it. So we put him on one and two of us smaller guys on the other, but he lost control in the, he was just sitting down or laying down on it, but he still managed to lose control in the rough conditions and fell off. And so the jet ski is gone. It's just started taking off on its own. So this is the days of stand-up jet skis. They weren't your big, large sit-down jet skis. They were stand-up jet skis. Mine was a Kawasaki 650. I think my friend's might have been a Yamaha from memory. And so his Yamaha has gone. It's just going one way like this, and then hitting the wave and going back the other way, and then back the other way, and then back the other way. Is when you fall off a stand-up jet ski, they used to just go around in circles. But it kept hitting waves, and it would turn from one way to the other, from one way to the other, and so it ended up doing pretty much a straight line out into the bay. Can't really recall exactly what happened then, but to cut a long story short, my jet ski ended up taking on a little bit too much water with the rough conditions, pounding waves over the top of it, and the jet ski being weighed down by two of us. It took on a little bit more water and a little bit more water, and it started getting lower and lower in the water, and we thought, shit, this is no good. And then it just conked out and stopped. It just took on that much water that it just stalled, and I couldn't get it to start again. And the more and more we sat there trying to start it, the lower and lower it got in the water, and eventually we just had to abandon it. And so then all of a sudden there were three of us swimming for the shoreline with all of our craft just floating about in Western Port Bay. Not a happy sight. So the wind was blowing offshore, the tide was pulling us out into Bass Strait, which is a treacherous ocean way, and the mouth of Western Port Bay, where it meets Bass Strait, is also shark breeding ground. So great white sharks breed there, in between Phillip Island and the Mornington Peninsula, and we were shitting ourselves, pretty much. Just swimming for our lives, just absolutely crapping ourselves, and that swim seemed to take forever. So we eventually get back into shore. My mate goes up looking for his jet ski. We check the other guy, yep, he's on shore, he's okay. I go down looking for my jet ski. So I spent about an hour looking for my jet ski, couldn't find it. My mate did find his, and he hopped back on his, it was going okay, and he was able to get that back to the beach. So the catamaran was gone, that was getting washed out to sea, as was my jet ski. So the guy who we saved, he was grateful and thankful, and he said, don't worry about the catamaran, I'm just glad I'm okay, and I feel really bad about your jet ski. He goes, let me know if you do get it back, any damages, I'll replace it, or I'll pay for any repairs. And this guy had a boat, so he went out with a few friends that knew the tides really well, and they went, this is where the jet ski's going to be, and this is where the catamaran's going to be. Sure enough, they managed to bring in the catamaran and right it with the boat the next day and tow it back in, and they found my jet ski and they brought that back in as well. But meanwhile, we'd made the newspaper because there was a jet ski sighted floating around in the bay and a catamaran floating around in the bay and washing up on, I think they washed up on Phillip Island actually. And so there's all this panic, oh geez, there's someone missing, because we hadn't reported the incident at all. And they were just worried that there was someone drowned out in the bay, so they were about to start this search, but I think the guys in the boat alerted the authorities, and everything was cleared up. And then we had the local paper come in and interview us and everything. We made the local paper looking like real dicks. I'll see if I can find a photo of that. The article, I think I've still got the newspaper article. So anyway, I contacted the bloke after I got my jet ski back and everything about a week later, and told him what the repair bill was going to be, and he goes, I'll get back to you, no worries. He didn't get back to me, and I kept hounding him, ringing him, wouldn't answer the door. I'd go around to his house because I found out where he lived, and he just avoided me, the bloody dingle twang. He just had no intention of ever paying for it. So it cost me about $1,300, $1,500 I think to rebuild the motor on the jet ski. Had to be completely rebuilt, crankshaft and everything, and pistons and all the rest of it. Everything was just completely submerged in salt water. So anyway, that's cut a long story short. I got back on the jet ski and rode it round after it was repaired for a few more years, and the only other jet ski incident I had was when I fractured my spine on the Gold Coast. That wasn't too bad, not as bad as it sounds, just compressed fracture of the lower vertebrae. Gave me some back issues for a few years, but no, it was all good. So there you have it. If you've had similar experiences, done stupid things, thought you might die at any given time, leave your comments down below.
Check out part 3 to find out how I managed to fall off a chairlift.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully alive. Bye bye.